Welcome back to Green Devils, Ireland's newest Manchester United fan channel. And Man United are not having any luck at the moment. We've seen the match last night. Rashford went off injured. We're seeing HOJLUND leaving the stadium. Anthony went off injured. And reports this morning have come out about the extent of the injuries to YORO and Rasmus Højlund. There's a report from Simon Stone in the BBC saying that YORO will be out for 3 months and Højlund will be out for 6 weeks. So he's saying here, Manchester United's new £52 million defender YORO has been ruled out for 3 months, and striker Rasmus Højlund will miss 6 weeks with injuries they suffered in Saturday's pre-season game with Arsenal. Sources confirmed the news just an hour before United's 3-2 victory over La Liga side Real Betis in San Diego. So YORO was filmed. We've seen, I think everyone at this stage has seen the footage of him leaving the training facility in California on crutches, wearing a protective boot. At the time, people were saying it may be just precautionary. We didn't know the full extent. Maybe the team at the time didn't know the full extent of the injury, and it was just precautionary to protect the foot, basically. But now they're saying it's 3 months. I think the early reports are indicating that it's possibly a broken metatarsal. Obviously that hasn't been confirmed by the club or anyone yet, but they're saying here that he's going to be out until the end of October. It would mean he misses 9 Premier League games, including matches against Liverpool, Spurs, Villa, and the start of the Europa League and Carabao Cup campaigns. Obviously, YORO will have further tests when he returns to the UK to determine the precise extent of the problem, although he will stay with the United party for the remainder of the US trip. So it's a massive blow for United. Obviously, their marquee signing of the summer now going to be missing for 3 months. I think Højlund's injury is 6 weeks. It's just a hamstring strain. It's nothing too serious. Still, obviously, 6 weeks is a long time as well. Not ideal. Now, with those injuries, will we potentially see the De Ligt deal being fast tracked? I know most of, all the terms have been agreed with the player. It was just a deal between the two clubs holding up the deal. Now, whether that was because they were waiting for sales to happen before they put the final finishing touches to any deal with incomings, but I think with YORO being out now for 3 months, it's likely that either the Ligt deal gets fast tracked, or we could possibly see United go back in for Branthwaite as well. Only time will tell. I think we should see a lot of movement this week, the next 2 weeks really, in terms of incomings and outgoings. So we'll wait and see on that one. I did see some absolute idiots online on X or Twitter calling for Erik ten Hag to be sacked because YORO and Højlund are injured. Yeah. Some people just, I don't know. Anyway, but it was also previously reported that Ten Hag wanted a third striker. I think with injuries to, obviously we don't know the extent of Rashford's injury, but he was seeing HOJLUND leaving the stadium. But with an injury to him and obviously Højlund being out for been out for the 6 weeks, Xerxes now is the only main striker at the club. And he's obviously not on pre-season. He's in Carrington training. He only ended his holiday there a couple of days ago. So it's looking very, very thin in the squad already. Just 3 games into the pre-season. So we'll wait and see. But let us know. Do you think we're going to sign another striker? And if we are, who? I think Ivan Toney seems to be the name that's going around at the moment, but I'm not sure who else we're being linked with. But I think I'd be happy with Ivan Toney. He's an established striker, but Chances are, I think the young kid they signed from the Arsenal academy, the 16-year-old, he's, I think, part of the reason he signed the deal with United was because he was promised to be the backup for HOJLUND and Xerxes. So it's a big ask for a 16-year-old now to come in and be the number 2 striker as such, potentially at the start of the season. I think I'd like to see a more established striker in there first, maybe. Let's wait and see. We'll keep an eye on that one. Also then as well this morning, the deal for Manuel Ugarte looks to be close to a conclusion. There's a report here from Luke Entwistle for GFFN, which is Get Football News France, and he's reporting that a deal could be done fairly soon. According to L'Equipe, they understand that PSG would now be willing to accept a paid loan for Ugarte, with a lucrative purchase offer included, in order to avoid making a loss on the €60 million they paid last summer. Now, this is a deal that I think suits United. Obviously, our FFP at the moment is fairly thin. It's cutting it close a little bit. We need to be careful about how much we're spending. But if we can do a loan deal for Ugarte and kick that can down the road and make the payment next summer, put it into next year's books, basically, I think that suits everyone. So I'd say keep an eye on this one. That could happen very, very soon, I think. Also, there's still talks of a deal being done for Rabiot to come in on a free. He's available. I think he was offered a contract from Liverpool and he turned him down because he wants to join United. And obviously, as well, there's still looks to be trying to do a deal with Amrabat. They initially turned down they rejected the £20 million fee that Fiorentina were looking. There's like a release clause because they want to negotiate a lower fee for him. So I think if we get Ugarte on loan, Rabiot on a free, and Amrabat for the £13-15 million that's been reported, I think that's pretty much our midfield more or less sorted for the new season, barring no further injuries. But it's probably not the ideal midfield that we'd want, but it would definitely look more solid, more robust going into the new season, competing for trophies and pushing to get back into that top 4 again. So look, hopefully. But speaking of our midfield, according to the Telegraph, United have received a £20 million second bid from Fulham for Scott McTominay. Now they're reporting that United want somewhere in the region of 25 to 30 million for the Scotland international. Also drawn interest from Galatasaray and Fenerbahce, which we've seen, but I couldn't see him moving over there. I think he'd possibly prefer to stay in England. But look, that's another deal. I fully expect that to be done, possibly in the next week or so. Let's wait and see. I fully expect that one to be done. Obviously, Aaron Wan-Bissaka to West Ham looks to be done too, but there hasn't been much of an update on that. Still no updates on Sancho. But I wonder, could he go out on loan again? There was talks of him going to PSG. PSG were interested. Then there was the talk that maybe he could be used as part of a swap deal for Ugarte. But if the Ugarte deal now is a loan, maybe the Sancho could go out on loan again. But I think I'd rather we sell him this summer really and try and make as much money as possible on him. Try and get close to that 40 million valuation of him that the club have put. But look, I think his wages are going to be the sticking point really. He's on 300,000 a week plus. I think that's going to really... It's really going to scupper any deal really with any big teams. No one's going to want to pay that money. So, but there's also no update on Casemiro or Lindelof either, which is potentially holding up any incoming deals. So, look, maybe when it comes towards the end of the preseason tour in the US is when we'll see some of the movement happening, when the entire team and the board get back to the UK. Maybe that's when we start seeing deals finally happening, and we can get the players out and get those deals signed that we have more or less done. Like the new left back Mazraoui, I think is how you pronounce it. That deal is done. The De Ligt deal is more or less done. Do you know what I mean? All these deals have more or less been... Terms have been agreed with the players, potentially the clubs too, and they're just waiting. They're just hanging on to those deals, waiting for the players to move on so we can get them in. So hopefully in the next 2 weeks, hopefully we can get our business done. We can start the season with all the players that we have, bar obviously the injured ones. Hopefully, time will tell. But I just want to end the episode today with a special mention for Amad Diallo. I had picked him as one of the players to watch for the coming season in my players to watch for the season. I'll put a card up here for it. I picked him as one of the players to watch because that right wing spot is up for grabs. It's fully up for grabs with Anthony's form last season. Obviously, the whole Sancho situation is well known. That he will get time this season. Obviously, we've seen over pre-season so far, it'll be up to him to step up and claim that spot. But we've seen in pre-season he's getting the time, but he's putting in the performances. We've seen the last 2 games now. He's been outstanding in both games. Scored again last night. So hopefully he can keep it up. And because that right wing spot has probably been our most questionable position for a few years now. No one has really nailed down that spot. So hopefully it's looking good in terms of Diallo. Hopefully now he continues that form and keeps it up and nails down that right wing spot. But let us know in the comments who are you looking forward to seeing this season. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you later.